All right. Hello. Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to the new project. If you look at the project, the name is Azure Multi-Modal Compliance Ingestion Engine using LangGraph. That's a big name. And if you look at the architecture for starters, the architecture might look a bit intimidating, right? Because obviously, this is one of the best quality projects that you can have on your portfolio. And this also demonstrates that you, as an engineer, let's say when you are trying to interview for the role of a data scientist or an AI engineer, it demonstrates that you have really good quality skills. You can work on something called as LangGraph. You understand what is observability. You understand how do you deal with Azure infrastructure. You understand what is the orchestration layer. You understand how to build the API backend. I mean, that is really good, right? That is some really good quality skill to have on your CV. So, guys, if you look at this project, this is actually a production level project that we're going to understand. Okay. But before getting into the nitty gritties of the project, okay, let us try to understand in very simple terms what is this project about. Okay. Before starting this project in simple sense, if you see in your, you can also find these two documents, in the set of documents that we have in this project. One is called as Disclosures 101 for social media influencers. This is an 8-pager document, and typically you can think of this document as as to there are something called as FTC guidelines. So FTC wants to works to stop deceptive ads, and its endorsement guides go into detail how advertisers and endorsers can stay on the right side of the law. So you can think of this and this particular document as a set of rules, okay? As a set of rules. And these two will be the guiding documents in our project, okay? If you look closely, you can think of this as some legal handbook, wherein we have to make sure that everything is happening as per the set frameworks. In simple terms, this document will make sure that whatever YouTube URL you are passing in this particular project abides by a certain set of rules, okay, that are mentioned in this documents. We'll discuss more on this in some time, but these are the two documents that we'll be using as the guiding factor in our project. Okay, but before that, let us try to understand in a rather simpler sense what the exact project is going to be about. Okay, so let me just open. Yeah, all right. So now for starters, see, everything starts at either at the fast API endpoint or at the Streamlit UI. Okay. In our case, we are not going to build Streamlit UI. Okay. If you want, you can go ahead and maybe ask it Gemini to generate, or you can generate that on your own. We are going to build a production grade project, and in production grade projects, Streamlit UI is not something that is preferred. Those UIs are different, but fast API or fast API backend server is definitely something that is preferred. So in this project, what will you do is, first and foremost, you're going to paste a YouTube URL. Okay, any URL. Now this can be a typically video ad. Let's say this is a video ad, can be anything. Let's say it's a Nike commercial. Okay, it is a 30-second Nike commercial which is available on the YouTube. You are going to take the link, okay, and you're going to paste this URL. Okay, once you paste this URL in the project, okay, you're going to run something called as audit. Okay, now once you run something called as audit, okay, this will send a signal to the fast AI or the fast API backend. Okay, and it will say that, hey, you know what, check this video for me. Okay, it will say what? It will say check this video for me. You can think of this project as a brand guardian. Okay, you're going to input a YouTube URL, and then basis the two documents we saw, we are going to generate a report, and this report will tell us that is this commercial abiding by the laws or by the laws or the legal frameworks that are suggested by YouTube? As simple as that. All right. So once audit gets clicked, it is going to send the signal to Fast API backend, and it is going to say that, you know what, check this video for me. Okay. See, the thing is, our system cannot watch a video like a human, right? So what it does, it takes a video and converts that into data. All right. So first and foremost, what is going to happen is, we're going to write a script, a Python script, okay, that downloads the data, okay, or sorry, downloads the video from YouTube. Okay, so we're going to first and foremost download the video from YouTube. Once the video is downloaded, we're going to send this video to something called as Azure Video Indexer. Now, what are these different services in Azure? We'll try to understand in this detail, but as of now, we're just taking a high level understanding. Okay, so we have a video. Okay, so video needs to be converted into data. So we're going to write a Python script. This Python script is going to download the video from YouTube. Once we give the URL, it is going to take this video, download that from YouTube. The downloaded video is then going to be sent to Azure Video Indexer. And now my Azure Video Indexer will firstly watch it, and it will extract two things from that video. Okay, it will extract transcript. You can think of transcript as the script. Okay, so whenever a hero or a heroine or an actor, or when they are saying some dialogues, that is nothing but the transcript. Okay, so transcript is nothing but what was said in the video. All right, and along with this, it is also going to play OCR. Okay, OCR means text written on screen. So many a times when you see commercials, right, you see the brand logo, you see some name of the person, age of the person, right? So if you have seen those toothpaste ads, right, so always they show a doctor, and below they show the name of the dentist, age of the dentist. So whatever text appears on the screen, this can be brand logo, this can be colors used with the brand, name of the brand, taglines, whatever claims that they make. So that there can be a brand which makes a claim that, you know what, we are 100% natural, or we 100% are vegan, etc., whatever. Yeah, so my Azure Video Indexer is going to watch this video, and it is going to extract transcript, as well as it is going to play the OCR. Okay, once this is done, we look at the retrieval part. Okay, retrieval is nothing but, you can think of this as the memory part. Okay, so before AI can judge the video, it needs to know the laws, right? And where are the laws? The laws are in those two documents that we just saw, right? So what will happen is that it will go to something called as Azure AI search. Okay, in Azure AI search, what we have done is, okay, so we saw those PDFs, right? Those two PDFs that I shown you just a while ago. Okay, so my Azure AI search is where those two PDFs will be stored. All right, and now it performs a vector search. Okay, it performs vector search to find the specific pages relevant to the video's content. To find what? To find specific pages relevant to the video content. Okay, for example, let's say if the video mentions sunscreen. Okay, for example, if there is a word called as sunscreen that is coming on the screen, so what it will do is it will look into the document, and it will see that what are the skincare rules that are suggested. Okay, so this is what will happen in the retrieval part or the memory part, where we are using Azure AI search. That is where the two PDFs are stored, and we're going to vectorize all these PDFs, and the vector search will find the specific pages which are related to the content of the video. As simple as that. All right, and now what do we have? We have the evidence, which is the video text, right? So we have the OCR, we also have the transcript. Okay, and we also have the laws from the PDF. correct? So what we do is we are going to take this and we are going to send this to our LLM. Okay, let's say in this case GPT-4o. Okay, now my LLM is going to read the transcript. First and foremost, what it is going to do, it is going to read the transcript. It is going to compare with the rules mentioned in the PDF. Okay, and it checks if there are any violations. Okay, obviously, it's like you're just going to check if there are any violations. Okay, or if there are any misleading claims made by the brand. Okay, now you can see this is a very fantastic project that you're going to work on. Okay, you're going to end up learning and showing a lot of capabilities. Okay, and finally, what does our LangGraph builds, or what does our agentic workflow builds? It builds the report. Okay, it builds either a pass report or a fail report. Okay, and whatever data gets generated, that data is basically sent back to either your AI, either to your Streamlit UI or your backend. Okay, and it will also suggest that if it is if it's going wrong, right? If something goes wrong, if the report that is getting generated is failed, which means that the video ad, okay, is not in alignment with the rules that are suggested in the set of PDFs. It is going to say that, you know what, there is something missing. Okay, so let's say it is going to suggest that these claims are missing, or these claims don't suit with the video, etc. So basically it is going to generate a final report or a final verdict. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're also going to perform monitoring, right? For monitoring purposes, we are going to use something called as Azure Application Insights. Okay, this Azure Application Insights, you can just Google. It is nothing but it is closely monitoring the project, observing the project. Okay, and it basically tracks every step in the project. It tracks downloading, it tracks indexing, then it will track searching, it will track reasoning. Okay, so if anything crashes, we can exactly see what went wrong. Okay, and on the observability part, okay, we'll be using LangSmith. Okay, and LangSmith is nothing but it is typically used for tracing the project. So you can see this is quite an interesting project that we are going to build. Okay, in short, I give the YouTube URL, and then basis the YouTube URL or the video, it is going to go and compare, in the rule book of PDFs, if my video abides by the PDF or by the PDF rule book, or it violates the rules. And basis that, it is going to generate the report that either we pass or either we fail. And in order to build the same, okay, as an agentic part or an AI agent, we are going to use LangGraph. We're going to use LangGraph workflow in order to build this agentic system. And on the infrastructure part, we're going to be dependent on Azure. Okay, so these are the two main things that we are going to be dependent on. And basis the backend, we're going to be dependent on Fast API. We'll see that. Okay, so all right. So all in all, this project looks quite interesting. So let's proceed to the next part.